FPGA means field programmable gate array. The user or designer. Field is nothing but why the term field is used in FPGA is nothing but
Sir, mic mute అయింది sir.
Thank you. So field programmable gate array, the user or the designer can able to modify the circuit according to their specifications, which can be programmed again and again. Okay, programmable is nothing but which can be programmed again and again. Field is nothing but user or designer can able to modify the circuit, and programmable is nothing but which can be programmed again and again. Nothing but up to reaching our specifications, we can able to modify. That is a programmable. Gate array is nothing but we are going to use a logic gates or Boolean functions or any other logics. Gate or nothing but we are going to use a logic gates or Boolean functions and any other logics. Array means we have different rows and columns. Those are nothing but arrays. Field programmable gate arrays. Array is nothing but we have multiple rows and columns like this. We have we can able to observe an architecture. Okay, we have some rows and columns. Those are nothing but arrays. FPGA is an IC which can be programmed by user or designer to implement any Boolean logic on components arranged in rows and columns. This is FPGA. FPGA is an IC which can be programmed by user or designer to implement any Boolean logic on components arranged in rows and columns. Okay. Then architecture, FPGA architecture or fabrication. We may call it as a fabrication. There are three main components. There are three main components in the architecture. Logic elements are combinational logic blocks. Logic elements are combination logic blocks. In FPGA architecture, we have CLBs, combinational logic blocks, or logic blocks, or logic elements. Then interconnections among them, and input-output blocks. Input-output. These are the main components in FPGA architecture. The architecture is like this. You may draw this one or this one, no problem. Okay. So FPGA architecture, these are programmable logic blocks, or these are nothing but CLBs, combinational logic blocks. Combinational logic blocks. These are input-output blocks, IOB, input-output blocks. And in between these, we have interconnections. Those are interconnections, programmable interconnections, like this, rows and columns. Nothing but interconnections. This is architecture. This is architecture. Okay. Then logical block of an FPGA. If you are saying that this is a logical block of a FPGA, it may consisting of LUT, lookup table, and some multiplexer and some registers. The logic block containing these blocks internally. So this is this logic block is nothing but this is not a single block. This is having some internal circuit. Some logic circuits are there. That is like this. The logical block of an FPGA consisting of lookup table, LUT, lookup table, and the corresponding circuit and the register. Like this, we are going to use different blocks in combinational logic blocks. The logical block of FPGA consisting of lookup table, multiplexer, and register. Here, so for this register, we are giving the clock and set and reset, preset and clear like this. We are giving some inputs. This is logic block. CLB. One question is asked like this. See here, explain LUT, CLB, and IOB and switch matrix. These are all from the architecture. In the architecture, the CLB consisting of LUT and multiplexer and registers. Okay, like this. Draw this one. Here he has taken 3-input matrix, 3-input lookup table for this circuit. This is the circuit. I is equal to A and B and C. And this is one circuit. For this function, the truth table. AB plus C. This is one logic function. AB plus C. For that, the truth table. That is one lookup table. Basic architecture of FPGA. In that lookup table and FPGA as a register and multiplexer we have. Let us take one example. This is one function. For this function lookup table, how we are going to get the corresponding outputs and how we are storing in the combination logic block and how we are selecting by using multiplexer. All those can be consisting in CLB, combinational logic blocks. Memory element and lookup table we have in combinational logic block. Next one, programmability. So these are nothing but techniques. Write down. Here he has given. We discussed about field programmable gate arrays, introduction, how we are going to discuss all those. Next, architecture. Next is technologies. So this I will explain the role of FPGA in the ASIC market. I will explain now. I prepared notes. FPGA technologies. See here. This question also is asking in different ways. FPGA configurations, FPGA modes of operations, FPGA technologies. Like that, he may ask in any manner. Okay, FPGA technologies. So here he is saying that 3 programming methods. 3 programming methods, or it may be there are here 3 basic types of FPGAs are available. Types of FPGAs or FPGA configurations or FPGA technologies. Remember that the question may be in any manner. The FPGA types or available types are 3. One is antifuse, second is EPROM, third is SRAM based. So here he is saying that programmability, 3 programming methods, programmability or technology or configurations. Okay, all are same.
సార్ మ్యూట్ లో ఉన్నారు సార్.
ఓకే, కావాలని మ్యూట్ చేశారండి. Okay, three technologies or three configurations or FPGA types are nothing but SRAM based FPGA, anti-fuse FPGA, EPROM or EEPROM FPGA. Same here I was mentioning. I mentioned here, see here, FPGA available types. Anti-fuse, EPROM or EEPROM, SRAM based. Okay, these three. Anti-fuse device and EPROM devices. And next, third one, SRAM based. SRAM based. Clear? This is SRAM based. These three you have to write in the FPGA technologies, or he may ask in the configurations. See here, list commercial. He list different configuration modes in FPGA. List different configuration modes in FPGA. These are nothing but anti-fuse, EPROM, and in the same manner, SRAM. Present we are using SRAM based technologies. Present we are using SRAM based FPGAs. Okay, so it may be programmability or configuration or technologies. Clear? SRAM based programming, which is used by J-Links and Altera based FPGAs. SRAM based. J-Links and Altera based FPGAs. You want more about this, you can go to SRAM based FPGA technology uses CMOS transmission gates to establish interconnection. This you can write. First one, SRAM based FPGA. SRAM based FPGA technology uses CMOS transmission gates to establish interconnect. The status of the gate is determined by the contents of the SRAM configuration memory. Okay, this is SRAM. Then anti-fuse technology, which is used by Actel QuickLogic based technology. What are these J-Links, Altera, and Actel? These are nothing but families, FPGA families. FPGA families are J-Links, Altera, and Actel. These are all FPGA families. Still, we didn't discuss about J-Links, Altera, Actel. We will go through that one. Before that, which technique is used in which family? That is the main point. So, SRAM based in SRAM based technology, we are using transmission gates, and those can be programmed in J-Links and Altera FPGAs. Then second one is anti-fuse technology, which is used by Actel QuickLogic based technology. So this is anti-fuse. The anti-fuse devices are programmed by applying relatively high voltage between the two nodes to break down the dielectric material. This eliminates the need for a memory to hold the program. But one time write configuration is permanent. Whatever you write, one time that is a permanent. When an anti-fuse is formed, a low resist path is irreversibly created between the terminals of the device. The anti-fuse itself is relatively small, about the size, and over a million of devices can be distributed over a single FPGA. The advantage of this technology is that on resistance and the parasitic capacitances of an anti-fuse are much smaller than the transmission gate and pass transistors. In coming technologies, we are using transmission gate and pass transistor logics. Those will provide some resistance and parasitic capacitances. Those are low in anti-fuse technology. This supports higher switching speeds. In this anti-fuse technology, the speed is very high. In SRAM-based technology, we are using transmission gate. And in EPRAM and EEPRAM technology, we are using fast transistors. Okay, SRAM-based programming, which is used in J-Junction Alter-based FPGA, anti-fuse technology, which is used by the Active Quick Logic-based technology, EPRAM. I am combining both the one countries. Okay. Complete description also there. Last one, EPRAM. EPRAM and EEPRAM-based technology uses a charged floating gate. Here we are using charged floating gate. In SRAM, we are using transmission gate. Gate programmed by a high voltage. Device based on these technologies are reprogrammable and non-volatile. We can able to reprogram, and the data is non-volatile and can be programmed offline while embedded in the larger system. You can able to reprogram using EPRAM, erasable programmable read-only memory. Electrically erasable programmable read-only memory. We can able to remove the data and we can able to reprogram. This is created with a charged floating gate. Okay, these are the three technologies. Keep it in your mind. Okay, again some brief description is given. Okay, SRAM based programming, static RAM, FPGA connections, fast transistors, transmission gates, multipliers, making or breaking cross-point connections, define function of logic blocks. These are all SRAM based programmings. Here we are using these modules. How an SRAM is programmable? There are two pins, input and output pins, configurable pins, which are used to program. When we implement a logic into FPGA, it is converted into bit files, which was stored serially from input to output, like this. Input output. There are two pins. Input output pins. We are using two pins. One is configuration data. One is configuration data in and data out. Like this, it is taking. RAM is nothing but a storage element. Storage element. How it is storing the data? We are going to programming the data. Okay, these are SRAM based FPGAs. Programmability already discussed. Interconnector lines are pre-laid vertically and horizontally. Programmable switches connects the lines to input and output logic blocks. A switch matrix is a set of multiplexers where an incoming line connected to any outgoing line. Switch matrix. What is switch matrix also is asked. Interconnections. The switch matrix is a set of multiplexers where an incoming line connected to any outgoing line. This is switch matrix. Small notes about the switch matrix. Okay, here in between the IO and the CLB, we are using some interconnections. These are horizontal and vertical lines we are using. These are formed interconnections. And anti-fuse technology, it is a one-time programming. Anti-fuse links in configurable paths. In an unprogrammed state, it acts like a high impedance state. The starting technology is anti-fuse technology. Once we programmed it, we can't able to change it. That is why this is a one-time programming. In an unprogrammed state, it acts like a high impedance. Clear regarding three technologies: anti-fuse, EPRAM, and SRAM. Clear? These are the three technologies. Very clearly how to write. Okay, very important and easy. Then I'm going to next one. We'll try this. Of FPGA. Applications of FPGA. FPGA has gained a rapid growth over the last few decades. FPGA has gained a rapid growth over the last few decades. FPGA is used for wide range of applications. Wide range of applications. First one, digital signal processing. The FPGA may be used as digital signal processor. That is nothing but medical imaging. That is video and image compression. So how we are using in digital signal processing is nothing but medical imaging. So image and video compression, we are using our FPGA. And system on chip design, SoC. System on chip. It may be nothing one of the IC. System on chip design. FPGA used in system on chip, that is ASIC prototyping. ASIC, I will explain now. Application specific integrated circuit. System on chip design. In that example is ASIC prototyping. Application specific integrated circuit. Next, software defined radio. We are going to use in software defined radio. Next, computer hardware emulation. In computer hardware emulations, we are using FPGA. Next, cryptography, communication, and many more. We are going to use in cryptography, communications, and many more. These are some applications. You may write some more also. Everywhere we are using these FPGAs. Okay, DSP, system on chip, software defined radio, computer hardware, cryptography, communication, etc. Features. Some extension I am giving. Features of the FPGA. Parallelism, reconfiguration, high performance, low cost, self-healing capabilities. It can able to rectify those problems. Low turnaround time, reduce time to market. Features also you can write. After the point, those are not covered. Those I wrote here. After applications, go for features. After listening this, you can able to write architecture, applications, technologies, features, all those. Parallelism, reconfiguration, high performance, low cost, self-healing capability, low turnaround time, reduce time to market. Next, how to select FPGA? There is a question. we have FPGA. How we can able to select this FPGA? There are many vendors which provide FPGA ICs. Vendors are nothing but manufacturers. How to select FPGA? This is a question. So there are many manufacturers or vendors which provide FPGA ICs such as J-Links, Altera, Microsemi, Lattice Semiconductor, some other. J-Links, Altera, Microsemi, Lattice Semiconductor, some other. Based on these vendors, we can able to select FPGA. First one is our application. Okay, based on our application, we are going to select FPGA. Second thing is based on the vendors. Third is size, cost per gate, speed, power consumption, and reliability. Based on that, we can able to select FPGA. How much area it is occupying? What is the cost of the chip or FPGA? What is the speed and power consumption? And the last one is the reliability. Okay, these are some features and applications of FPGA. Then FPGA versus ASIC. Before that, this introduction to J-Links we'll discuss later. Then FPGA versus ASIC. This is also one of the concepts. He has given one topic like this: ASIC market in FPGA. The role of FPGA in the ASIC market. The role of FPGA in the ASIC market. ASIC is nothing but application specific integrated circuit. Application specific integrated circuit. Once it programmed, we can't able to change this one, and it is used for fixed application. We can't able to use this ASIC for different applications. FPGA you can use it for any other application. You can able to reconfigurable, but there is no chance for ASIC. So that is why we are going to discuss about the comparisons FPGA versus ASIC. FPGA. So from this you can able to understand what is FPGA, what is ASIC. If he may ask in the FPGA, you can write all those points, and if it is related to ASIC, you can write about ASIC points. FPGAs are reconfigurable circuits. Same FPGA can be used to implement various designs. Okay, this is the major point. Nothing but functioning of FPGA. Same FPGA. Then next ASIC. ASICs are permanent circuits. These points you can write. If you want, I will share these notes to you, no problem. Some points you can write. ASICs are permanent circuits. Once the application specific circuit is fabricated into silicon substrate, it cannot be changed. It cannot be changed. This is fixed application IC. Application specific integrated circuit. These are permanent circuits. These are reconfigurable circuits. In detail, the point I wrote here. Okay, that's why this is somewhat lengthy. In FPGA, the part of chip can be reconfigured or design can be changed while remaining areas of chip are still working. FPGA, part of chip can be reconfigured or design can be changed while remaining areas of the chip are still working. Okay, with the working of the some other application, we can able to modify some other modules. In ASIC, no change can be made after manufacturing. In ASIC, no change can be made after manufacturing. The circuit will perform some function for which it is developed for entire operating life. For entire life, it is used for that particular application only. Third one, FPGA designs described using HDL. Here also ASIC design is also described by HDL. It may be VHDL or Verilog. VHDL or VERILOG. Verilog. Both can be programmed with VHDL and Verilog or hardware description languages. FPGA is not suited for very high volume mass production. These are not suitable for very big circuits or very big volume productions. ASIC is suited for very high volume mass productions. ASIC is suitable for very big volume mass productions. Big big circuits can be implemented using ASIC. Then FPGA is less energy efficient because the design implemented using EDA tool is not controlled and optimized. Energy efficient, more power efficient than FPGA. Power consumption of FPGA can be very minutely controlled. This is less energy efficient. This is more energy efficient. More energy efficient. Operating in limited operating frequency. Operating in much higher frequency. ASIC is operating in higher frequency. FPGA is operating in lower frequency. And FPGA cost is low. ASIC cost is high. Based on cost. Low performance and high performance. Low performance and high performance. These are some points regarding ASIC and FPGA. If we may ask about what is FPGA, role of FPGA in ASIC market, you can able to write all those points. Okay, if you observe that, those points only as mentioned. Same FPGA can be programmed. Okay, like this, we are going to use some points, some differences like here. Okay. Then next, next is design flow. VLSI design flow or ASIC design flow or RTL to GDS graphic design user flow. VLSI design flow. VLSI design flow. This is end of VLSI FPGA. Maximum complete today. This FPGA. Next FPGA families we can discuss. That is end of fifth one. I am completing the portion, but how many are preparing, I don't know.